Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. To everyone's watching this video, I want to thank you for watching. First of all, thank you for clicking on this video. But today I will be discussing Splatoon. More specifically, I'm going to be discussing Splatoon and what makes it so different in the shooter genre. Most specifically the third-person shooter, but shooters in general. But yeah, let's start. Let's get on with the video. Why is Splatoon so goated? Well, it's goated. No, but seriously though, Splatoon is really different. So let's discuss gameplay wise. Splatoon is really different for its gameplay mainly. That is one of the things that makes it so different to other shooters. So before I get into the depth of it, I will make references to other games such as Halo or Fortnite. But at the end of the video, I will actually show some gameplay to actually defer and you can actually see it yourself. But for now, I'll just make reference to them and allusions to them. And at the end of the video, you can actually see it yourself when I show off that gameplay. So currently, as the video plays, I'm showing footage of Splatoon 3. This is the most current game. This came out in 2022 and this is the third game in the series. As said in the title, there is no spin-offs currently, but there is a planned spin-off Splatoon Raiders that will come out very soon in June actually. But regarding coming back, Splatoon, let's discuss the main mechanics. Well, first, Splatoon isn't like the same type of guns of, think of Call of Duty, think of Fortnite, Halo, where you have rifles, you have pistols, you have things, you use actual bullets, calibers. You have a lot of different things like that where you have actual physical, tangible bullets in that sense. Splatoon is different. One, it's a lot non-violent, and that has to do with the fact that it also does come from Nintendo, so Nintendo's a little bit more restrictive on that. But Splatoon, it uses ink. Ink is its main source of everything. So basically, your main character is known as a squid or an octoling, depending which one you're playing. And essentially, your squid has its two forms. So it has its humanish form, which is you can see at most of the screen. It looks kind of humanish, right? But then when you click left trigger, it turns into a squid form. This can be done in ink. Basically, all the weapons you fire, every weapon you use, it fires ink. And a lot of those weapons are based off of real tools or things you use in real life, like think brushes, arrow sprays are like the ones used to paint cars, rollers, among other things. Actually, some weapons are actually based on other things, like the NZAP, which is based on the Nintendo 64 or Nintendo NES Zapper. Which is a really neat reference. But yeah, for the most part, all weapons are based off of tools you can use to paint. And basically, that's what makes the game so different. The weapons themselves aren't truly weapons, and they also spray ink, not bullets. And when you turn into your squid form, you can actually swim through your ink that gets spread on the walls and on the floor, and you can swim through it and move a lot faster. That also plays into the mechanics. The game itself, you can the pacing is a lot different. The way you move, the way you fight, it's a lot different due to the fact that, well, you can use ink to move around. Also, like I said, no bullets, none of that, no actual true violence. You never really kill someone, you never really do any of that nature. It's more of just splatting a person, which is a really big thing because it really changes how dark and deep a game can be mechanically. So speaking of deep and dark, let's talk about the story of Splatoon. So Splatoon's story is also what makes it really different to the shooter genre. So Splatoon is a really weird story. So you have certain aspects where the game is very lighthearted, where it's just like, you know, hey, there's evil guys, you gotta beat them up, and as you see it in the levels, I've been playing only the campaign total as far of this video. Additionally, the footage I'm showing now is from Splatoon 2, the second game in the whole game series as a whole. So it's really lighthearted at times where it has certain aspects where it's just kind of a goofy game where it's just like, you know, you fight the enemies, you do what you have to do, you save everyone, save the world, and everything goes back to normal, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's something a kid can understand really easily. But then you have certain aspects where it becomes really deep and dark. One big reference to that is in Splatoon 2, the DLC, which is the Octo expansion. The Octo expansion, you have a lot of references to how humanity has basically become extinct during the events of this game, or before the events of this game millions of years before. Additionally, it also references some other things such as almost murdering and also experimenting on other like squids and other types of animals that live in this world. I guess humanoid animals that live in this world, and it becomes really dark. But then you have other moments where they're really lighthearted throughout the levels, where you see the characters making jokes, where you see the characters maybe not truly being violent. So you also have like some of the main enemies also just being really relaxed, but then you have moments like that in the story which really change up how you see it, and it makes a difference because the story is really important. And you have other games in Halo, such as in Halo, where it's really deep and dark. You know, you're just protecting you're fighting against monsters in the universe, aliens against the universe. So on top of that, let's talk about the visuals and the music before we get into the final comparison between Halo and Splatoon. So visually, the game is really different. You play as a squid, like I mentioned before, and the game is just really goofy, just art style where nothing's serious, where everything's kind of just really exaggerated. For example, in the city in Inkopolis, where everything is kind of like the buildings are really huge, or the place you go to are really just goofy and they're not really serious. They're not in comparison to the think of Halo, where you go to places where ships have literally crashed, you see dead bodies and you see corpses. Things like that really make the difference. Additionally, on top of that, the music really gives Splatoon its difference. Its music is completely different to any of the other ones, which are a lot more instrumental, a lot more, like I said, serious. Think of violins and all of that. And Splatoon is a lot different in that sense. This music is a lot goofy, and it just matches the vibe of what you do in the game, which is just have fun. It's just, that's the entire purpose of the game, and that's truly what makes maybe Splatoon so fun, so different. It's just fun, and the game itself is just meant to be fun and goofy. And yeah, that's really some of the major differences between Splatoon and other games of its genre. Let's cover a little bit about Halo, because it actually brings up a big topic into this. So as you showed before, I just stated beforehand, Splatoon is just goofy. The game itself is just meant to be goofy. It's meant to be playful. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be something a kid can understand, and something that can just be played and sort of have just a lot of fun and nothing to be truly taken serious. But now the footage you can see now, you see I am playing as a Spartan, and I'm fighting alongside my other comrades in this match, and we're literally using rifles, bullets, and we're killing the Covenant. And as you can see, you die. There's consequences. There's true consequences. You died. The story as a whole of Halo is a lot darker, where you have to fight, like I said, aliens. You have to fight against alien invasions, protect, you know, your people, your land, everything you stand for. You have to protect it. And on top of that, visually, Halo's a lot more realistic. You could see they look more humanoid. The aliens have much more details. They're much more just overall, the details are a lot more humanoid. They look a lot more realistic. The characters you play as also really realistic to humans. Very interesting. Additionally, the music is a lot darker. Sometimes it's more somber. Sometimes it's more a little bit gleeful, but truly it's never happy or goofy as you see in Splatoon, which really in the end does make the difference between these two games and as a whole. And obviously there's a lot of other references to like Call of Duty and Fortnite, where they're very much different, but Halo is the one the one I have the most personal experience with. So what are my final thoughts on this game? So, actually the game series as a whole. So Splatoon as a whole, it's an awesome game, and a game series as a whole. They're all fun, they're really goofy, they're interesting, they're intriguing, and they're really special. They have a lot of charm, they have a lot of their own, like I said, charm, something that makes the game so different to the other games. And by all means, Splatoon, Halo and Fortnite, they have nothing wrong with them. They also have their own things. Halo, for example, has its own charm and its dark story and how you fight to save humanity, and you stand for the values of humanity. It has its own charm. Fortnite has its goofy charm because you can play with friends, and it's just dumb fun with people, and that's what makes it so awesome as well. But Splatoon really differs itself in its genre. There's nothing like it, and there's probably never gonna be anything like it, which is kind of a good thing, because each game should be its own game. Really, that's what also game makers should do. Each game should be their own game. And as a whole, I think if you are looking into buying this game, I would totally recommend it. Totally worth the money. and it's really awesome. So that concludes everything. Thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time out of your day to just sit here and listen to everything I have to say. This is my first time making a video essay of this sort, so if you like it, like, subscribe, and I'll keep trying to make more of these, and maybe I'll even do an updated version in the future. But yeah, thanks for everything like I said before. Take care, and I love y'all 3000. Peace.